HLNA, a fractal personality designed to be your guide. Just listen to me and you won't get yourself killed. Probably. I'm new at this too. Any landing you get away from is a good one, eh? Welcome to the Gensis simulation. Here you'll be tested across 5 biomes, each with its own dangers and rewards.
Greetings, fellow ARK players. In this video, we're just going to take a chill spin and fly around the biomes and see what Genesis Part 1 is all about from a world perspective. If you don't want to have any of the biomes revealed to you, spoiler alert, you've been warned. Alright, let's go.
Headshot.
So I guess the logical way to go about this is to start with the biome at the top of the list and work our way down from there. So we'll start in the bog. The first thing I noticed about the bog biome is how dark and foggy it is, which makes sense for a bog, I suppose. Having played a lot of ARK myself, being in a swampy environment definitely feels dangerous. Kind of like a Sarco or Titanoboa is going to come out of nowhere. Now, there are Titanoboas in the bog, but they're not as common as you might suspect. The bog in Genesis isn't the swamp from earlier maps. It's a little more safe than that. The luminescent mushrooms and flowers look really cool, I think. They add some light and color to the bog, which is fairly dark and bland without it. There's also these massive trees with hollowed out trunks that oftentimes have metal and crystal nodes in or around them. These trees seem like a pretty cool place to build a starter base, I think. The limbs on the larger trees are big enough to probably build a base on as well, if that's something you want to do. As far as creatures that I've seen in the bog biome, most of them make sense for the easiest biome you could be in. You've got stegos, pteranodons, raptors, brontos, beelzebuffos, carbonimus, and so on. I haven't seen any Argents or Rexes or anything like that in this biome, and I think it's pretty safe to say they're simply not here. They're probably in the Volcanic biome. I ran across a basketball court, and I'm not sure how to feel about that. It's weird seeing something like that in ARK, but I'm sure it's part of a mission or something. Anyway, my overall first impression of the bog is positive. I think it's actually kind of beautiful in its own way. Usually I find that type of thing somewhat meaningless, but in ARK, it's something I do look for. There's a lot of texture going on with this biome, lots of nooks and crannies, so it's a very interesting place. Alright, let's move on to the next biome. So the next one on the list is the Arctic biome, which is rated at a medium difficulty. The most notable aspect of this biome, other than the snow, is the massive mountain which has a turquoise stream that runs down it into the valley. There's also a footpath that winds around the mountain leading to the top. Along that trail to the top of the mountain is where you'll find obsidian, metal, and crystal. As far as creatures I've seen so far, there have been ankylos, doedicurises, theriznosaurs, argents, yetis, woolly mammoths, rhinos, Eutyrannus, direwolves, saber-tooths, and other creatures you might expect to find in the snow biome. As far as the aesthetics go, the snow looks really good. The Arctic biome can be bright and sunny and clear, or it could be snowing, or you could find yourself in a blizzard. On one side of the mountain, there seems to be an area that is in perpetual fog, where you can hardly see anything, but overall, I like it, especially the snow effect. I don't think the medium difficulty this biome was assigned has anything to do with the creatures here, but rather the climate. Starting off in an Arctic biome would be somewhat difficult until you could get fur armor. I think the main takeaway of this biome is that it's cold, and there's a huge mountain that's extremely valuable to build close to. Alright, moving on to the next biome. Okay, so the Lunar biome is rated very hard. And that is no joke. The second I spawned into this zone, I was surrounded by Tachrexes. All the dinos here are tech as far as I can tell. The first thing I noticed about this biome is that it's fucking crazy. Every once in a while you'll hear a violent beaming in sound and a Tachrex will spawn right next to you. There are tons of islands that are just floating in space. If you're on one of the lower islands, you should be aware that it's fairly likely creatures are going to come raining down on you from the islands above. Not only are the creatures here extremely hostile, but the environment seems like it's pretty good at killing too. Honestly, I don't know if I'd want to have tamed dinos here. Either they'd get killed by the billions of tech rexes, or they'll chase something and fall off the edge, off the island into the abyss. So, of course there are ways to try and be good about keeping tamed dinos here, but it's definitely risky. The biome itself is really cool looking, I think. Not necessarily the land masses, but the space elements. There's a planet that's been obliterated, a multicolored galaxy, a humongous Saturn-like planet. I don't know, I think it's pretty cool, and it makes sense that this is where you'd find tech creatures since there's no oxygen. As far as resources go, it looks like wood, thatch, and water might be a problem. There seems to be a lot of obsidian, metal, and stone though, so overall, as far as I can tell at this point, I would only want to come here to tame tech dinos and to maybe gather obsidian and metal. Otherwise, it seems like a great biome to not hang around in. Oh yeah, there's also meteor showers that bombard this biome, so holy shit. Alright, on to the next biome. Okay, so I think the ocean biome looks amazing. You start off on top of a monolith and you find yourself isolated on it, surrounded by water. The monoliths have a very tropical vibe to them, and you can find some good resources on some of them, like metal. You can find wood and fiber on almost every single one of them. But of course, who cares about the land in this biome? It's all about the ocean. This is honestly the first time I've felt awe and majesty with the underwater design in any ARK map, especially coming from Valguero. Sorry. It'll be awesome to finally unlock the vacuum compartments and build a base somewhere down here. It's one hell of an aquarium, that's for sure. I think it goes without saying, but if you're looking for a marine creature to tame, this biome is probably going to be your best bet. I think I've seen pretty much every marine dino you could want here, which is no surprise. I was really hoping to run into a huge silica pearl field that I could tell you all about, but to no avail. In a couple days, Gamepedia will have everything you'll ever want to know about Gensis anyway. So, all jokes aside though, this is an amazing biome, and I'm excited to play it for real. Okay, on to the last biome. The Volcanic biome is the second very hard biome in Gensis Part 1. Not only is the terrain deadly, but so are a lot of the creatures you'll encounter here. It's definitely not as bad as the Lunar biome, but it would still be a struggle to live in this biome, especially starting out. Similar to the Arctic biome, there is a large mountain here in the Volcanic biome. There are several trails that run up it that end with crystal, obsidian, and metal. The real score for resources, though, are found inside the volcanoes, or at least the one volcano I went through. It was absolutely packed with obsidian and metal, but there were a lot of dangerous creatures around like Arthropluras, onyx, and the Pulmonoscorpius. Other creatures you'll find in this biome are stegos, rexes, carnos, argents, and the new magmasaur. From an aesthetic point of view, it's not bad. I prefer a more lush and green environment to live out of, but this will be a nice change of pace from that. I do think the sky and the volcanoes look awesome, but the only real contrast in color is the red lava with the brown stone. So, not super great eye candy. Anyway, I am glad this biome is very different from the others regardless. So, to wrap up my first impressions of the Gensis biomes, I'm happy. The biomes are all meticulously designed to feel natural. Every biome is vastly different from the other, and even the creatures have new designs that actually look pretty cool. There's a ton of exploration left to do, but hopefully this video helped give you an idea of what to expect when the time comes to start a file. So, I don't know, what do you think? I know that a lot of people are apprehensive about Gensis. ARK has come a long way from the island where all the creatures were more or less realistic. I'm personally hoping that the missions and in-game currency are done well, because if those elements are done well, I think it will add an interesting progression mechanic we never had before in ARK. Anyway, Let us know what you think in the comments section. Are you still skeptical? Were you never skeptical? Do you think the biomes look good? Alright, well, anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a thumbs up on it. If you want to help support the Havoc Gaming channel, a subscription would go a long way, and that lets me know I should continue putting out more videos. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy Genesis. Godspeed.